Hello everybody and welcome to the first edition of the AFL 2026 Tips and Predictions video. I'm your host Matt Danger here, back for an exciting season, our second season together. We are here with Uncle. How are you, mate?
Good. Footy's back.
Footy's
Thank
back.
God.
It's honestly, this is better than Christmas. The build up to the first round of footy is more exciting to me than the build up for Christmas.
Oh, I'm banging for tomorrow night. I can't wait.
I'm frothing at the mouth. As soon as I'm finished work, if I get the all clear that I don't have to come in Friday, I'm drinks up, footy on, we're going. But we got nothing really to do this week apart from the tips. Usually we go through last week's rounds, but this is the first round of the year. Absolutely excited. We are bouncing off the walls full of excitement for this. So we've got Sydney versus Carlton to kick us off, opening round at the SCG. A couple of Carlton fans that come through the stream a couple of times. They're over there for this game.
Right.
They've taken the flight over to go watch Charlie Curnow. And unfortunately, I kind of said, "Well, you're taking the flight to Sydney to watch your team lose. That's commitment, Uncle, because I wouldn't be doing that at all." I think this round, it's purely based on speculation. I think I'm going to go with Sydney for myself. Both teams have looked good in the pre-season games that we've watched, but obviously you got nothing to work with. I think Sydney on paper far better than Carlton. So let's see what happens there.
Yeah, a bit of spice to this game too, isn't there? With a few crossovers with Curnow, as you mentioned, but also those two Sydney guys that are now lining up for Collingwood, Clark and Haywood.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit of spice between the two teams. It'll be interesting. Sydney had a shocker last year, really. I think Goulden back now, who was missing most of the year last year. I think he'll make a huge difference to their midfield. It's a pretty good side on paper, better than their Premier runner-up team from 2 years ago.
Yep.
I think Sydney are going to be the big improvers this year. They should win this game. Yes, I'm going for Sydney as well.
Yeah, I think that they'll finish top 5 or 6. I think personally. We have Gold Coast versus Geelong Friday night, 8:05. A little bit later start than we usually used to. Of course, they're still an hour. They're still an hour behind over in Queensland. So that'll be 7:05 local time for them. So that's explainable. Gold Coast Geelong, People First Stadium. So Gold Coast home game. I think it's rather quite even. I think looking at the odds there, though, there's a bit of a gap, $1.60 compared to $2.30. I think it's a lot closer than that. I think Geelong are going to be getting a few big names back as well. I know Jeremy Cameron's a test to play, and there's a couple others that are tests to play rather than weeks away. So they should all be back except for, I think it's Graham Myers is the only real name that's missing out for Geelong. So it's pretty much a full strength Geelong side.
Yeah.
Gold Coast over there though, that's quite tough. I'm gonna go with Geelong. I'm gonna go with Geelong.
Right. Yeah, this is one of the games where I'm very keen to see the teams, and I'm also I'd rather have picked on this game 5 games in. I think we've got a bit of exposed form, because for me, Gold Coast had a great season last year, but they had a draw to help them out. This year, their draw's not going to be so bad. They're playing a pretty strong team in Geelong, first up, albeit at home, but Geelong are a real strong unit. So are they going to... Yeah, I'd like to see a bit more... I'm going to trust the Cats on their last 5 years over the Gold Coast over their last 1 year. So I'm going Geelong in this game as well.
Yeah, the only thing, Gold Coast are becoming very dominant at home. If this was at GMHBR, I wouldn't have had second thoughts about it. But over at Gold Coast, it gives the sneaky spot for Gold Coast. But I think Geelong, just on paper, too good.
Yep.
Start of the Saturday games now. We've got GWS versus Hawthorn to kick us off. Opening round, NG Stadium. 4:15 p.m. 2 games on Saturday to look forward to. We'll be going with Hawthorn here. There's not really much deliberation. I don't know if you've had a look at the medical room injury report for every team this week that came out yesterday. GWS is a mile long.
Yeah, right.
They're missing some names from the best 22 as well. Best 23, I should say now. Hawthorn is relatively clean. I think that they're just going to take a lot stronger team in. GWS might struggle, particularly in the early stages. First couple of months, they might struggle a bit. So, going to go with the Hawks.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried. I always take the view that if a team starts the year injured, they end the year injured. So, it's going to be hard for GWS to come back. I think they could be real strife for missing out in the finals. Because even though they get these people back, but they'll be underdone, and there'll be teams that are 2, 3, 4 games ahead of them in fitness, and they'll be always catching up. And I just think it'll be really hard for the Giants this year. Good for Hawthorn to have Newcomb play. I think they managed to downgrade their suspension from medium to low, which means he's not missing a week. So I think that's important for them because their midfield is a bit light on, as we talked about in our prediction video, but. For this game, I think Hawthorn are probably quite lucky that GWS are so injury ravaged as they are. So, for the same reason, Hawthorn for me. I've got a feeling we've got a pretty good record up there too against GWS. So I never even thought about doing my stats that I did towards, last
second half of last year.
Yeah, I've got a feeling Hawthorn play all right up there too. So,
next week
for me.
Next week, get stats going next week
when the real season starts.
Saturday night, however, we will have Brisbane versus Bulldogs up at the Gabba. I think they were expecting large amounts of rain as well over in Queensland this weekend. 2 years back to back. Let's go. Opening round, great time to have it. Going to go with Brisbane as we did during our ranking the best 23 series. Brisbane, best team on paper, at home advantage. Bulldogs, a lot of teams I've seen are tipping Bulldogs to finish top 4 this year. Hopefully with a healthy Sam Darcy all the way through and likeness, but I don't know if Bevo's going to get them there. I just feel like there's been the last 2-3 years where he should have had them top 4 and they've been barely making finals or missing them, so we'll see how it actually goes. Brisbane will be very, very strong, especially when they get a couple of their players back, but I think this week they'll still be too strong. So going to go with them.
Yeah, Brisbane, Bulldogs probably got, top 3 out of the top 5 or 6 players in the comp. So I think, but the problem with the Bulldogs is their bottom 3 or 4. I think they're quite brittle at the bottom end. So when you strike a team like Brisbane, who are pretty solid throughout the whole 23, a team like the Bulldogs get found out a little bit at the back end of their list. So for that reason, home ground, they've had a very strong record at home in the last 3 or 4 years. So the Premiers, I think, should open their campaign with a win here.
Last game of opening round is Sunday, 7:20. Of course, it is a public holiday in Victoria on the Monday, so we're getting this one quite late now. But St Kilda versus Collingwood, very hot. I think this will be good for maybe placing where St Kilda is going to be this year. If they can take home a dominant win, I think they'll be very good. If they're thereabouts with Collingwood, it might be a little bit hairy. I'm going to go with St Kilda. When I was doing my Nostradamus tipping, I saw that Collingwood was heavy favourites over there on tipping wise, but St Kilda's slight favourites according to the odds. So, but I'm going to go with St Kilda. I think that they've recruited stupidly, really, stupidly good. And I think that they need to see results from it. So I think that they'll start off hot as well.
Yeah, they're another game where I would like to see their form for 3 or 4 games, because the knock on Collingwood's always been their aging list, but they just keep producing. So they're all another year older, and yet are they still going to produce this year? So it's a watch for me on Collingwood to see how they go in the first 4 or 5 weeks. And St Kilda, as you say, recruited heavily. I think the ruck rules suit someone like
TDK.
TDK, Tom, massively. So that's a huge boon for St Kilda, with backup of Ryan Marshall, who's probably in the top 5 or 6 ruckmen. So they're strong and they're on board brigade. So will they all gel? That's the question. So
yes.
For this game, I'm going to go with the name rather than the age. So I'll go with St Kilda. They'll have a bit of buzz about them. So if they lose this game and lose it big, I think balloon will burst pretty quickly. That'll flatten their season just
Yeah.
about. So I think they'll be up and about. I think they'll get this one. So I'm going to go for St Kilda as well.
Not a single tip different between us. Good
No,
start of the
no.
year. This is great. Well, we'll be even going into round one. That's for sure.
That's a fact.
Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you very much for joining us and watching along. We will be doing our live watch along reactions videos, live streams every single Thursday night, Friday night. This week we'll be doing Saturday night, Sunday night. Don't know if I'll be here for the GWS Hawthorn game. It's cricket finals, so we've got a few teams at our club in the finals, so I'll be ducking down to watch them. But then I'll be back to do the night games. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you all, and we'll see you guys every single Wednesday, 4 p.m. from here on out for the rest of the year. We'll be having this video go live, so make sure to give us a like, subscribe, and give us a comment down below what your tips are this week, and if you like what you see, tell us. If you don't, tell us what we can do better. We'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, sure. Let us know.
Bye.
We'll see you later.